Thanks, oh thanks a lot. I got a broken heart, that's all I got. Well, you made me cry, and I cried a lot. Good morning, everybody. We used to sing a song in school when I was a child and when I was in kindergarten, and it used to say, we're all in our places with sunshiny faces. But so hopefully some of the faces will get more sunny as the week goes on. But all I wanted to say to you, I mean, you have a great team here with you this year. This is our biggest tour we've ever done. And normally when we have one coach, this year we have two. We're looking forward to the challenge of entertaining everybody. We're all here for you for the week. As Deirdre already said, we're not here for a holiday. This is your time.
Are we ready to go, son? Yeah, I'm ready if you are, Dad.
We're here in Dice, Arkansas. This is the first Irish tour ever to come here to Dice, even though Johnny Cash was born and raised here. This is the very first organized tour. We have 106 of our Irish friends with us, and we're going to explore the life and times of Johnny Cash, starting right here in Dice, Arkansas.
The first time I heard Johnny Cash sing, I walked the line. I got my thrill behind the wheel upon my daddy's lap. Grandpa rode co-pilot with a flashlight and a map. Came pulled out the window, it was in the summertime.
Hi, this is Robert Mizzell. I'm standing here in Dice, Arkansas, the place where Johnny Cash was born and raised. Standing here to my right is one of his good friends, Jay. Jay, you're very welcome, and thank you so much for having us along with you.
No problem. We're proud to have you.
Was a pleasure.
Really proud.
As I've said, we have 106 Irish people with us on our Johnny Cash tribute tour, and it's amazing to come here to see where Johnny Cash started off. All the cars, all the money, all the fame and fortune, it all originated right here on these steps.
Right.
And could you just tell us a little bit about Johnny Cash?
Well, he started singing at a young age. I guess everybody knows that. And we run around together solid all of our lives. And he's just a great person.
An ordinary
He always
guy.
was. Ordinary guy. His kids right now are the most common people you'll want to talk to.
When I was a young fellow walking around Louisiana, I always remember for the first couple of years of my life, we didn't need shoes because we didn't go to school until we were 5 or 6. And I can imagine Johnny Cash and his family and his brothers and sisters were the very same.
They were. We had shoes in the wintertime. In the summertime, we could run straight up and down that road barefooted, and our soles were about a quarter-inch thick. So sharp rocks didn't bother us. I mean, we just went barefooted all the time in the summertime.
Well, Jay, you know, I wished I had a day and a half to talk to you. I'm sure you could tell us some really good stories. And I want to thank you for accepting our group here to Dice, Arkansas. It's an honor for us to be here.
It's an honor to have you here.
And I know you're a personal friend of Johnny Cash,
Yes.
and you're doing great work in making sure his memory stays alive.
Right.
Jay, it's
And
a
I
pleasure
hope
to
it
meet you.
does.
And God bless you, and all here in Dice, Arkansas.
I don't think you'll die for years and years and years.
He'll always be in our hearts.
I think so.
This is the Mississippi Delta. This is where Johnny Cash started his whole life. When you think of Johnny Cash, you think of movies, I Walk the Line, songs like Folsom Prison Blues, The Ring of Fire. But all of the fame and fortune didn't come until many, many years later. Johnny Cash was born and raised. He played right here in this garden, right here amongst the fields of the Mississippi Delta.
I'm waiting for you and always been true. Waited no longer I can stand. I know you were trying to make up your mind. I've waited as long as I can. And I'm waiting for you to say you love me, say you love me. Yeah, long for the day you take my hand. And I asked again last night, your love is so divine. I'm waited as long as I can. One more singer, come on. Oh, I'm waiting for you. Come on, sing it for Johnny. For the day you take my hand. I asked her love so divine. I've waited as long as I can.
I'm here aboard the General Jackson with our good friend Paul Dunn from Rahieu in Kilbeggan and County Westmeath. Paul, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Is this your first time coming to Nashville?
It's my first time to Nashville, yes.
Well, if you could do me one favor and tell me, for all the folks back home, if there's one thing that people should experience here when they come to Nashville, what do you think it is?
It's the music and the weather and everything that goes with it.
Well, you know, everybody knows back home how popular country music is, and I think it's been important for people to come back here to Nashville to hear where all those songs originated from. And would you encourage people to come back here again?
I would definitely encourage people to come back again, definitely. And I would come back again myself. It's been a lifetime dream to come here, and you've definitely fulfilled every bit of that for me.
Well, Paul, thank you very much. And you know what? Maybe next year we're going to head to Texas together and keep the bags packed at home just in case we'll be calling upon you again. I'm sitting here on the steps of Loretta Lynn's original home. And who could have imagined that the girl who was born here moved on to be one of the world's biggest stars, the coal miner's daughter. We spent the last couple of days in and around Nashville, Tennessee, and we're in Hurricane Mills here now at the moment, just outside Nashville. And we're looking at the life and times of Johnny Cash, and of course all the country stars who've made our life in Ireland so good in the last number of years. Listen to all the great country songs on the radio back home.
I hear the train coming, well it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen no sunshine since I don't know when, but I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on, well baby on and on, but that train it keeps on moving right down the San Antonio. Don't get us hot. When I was just a baby, my mom told me, son, always be a good boy, and don't never play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Just to watch him die. When I hear that drummer beat, oh, I hang my head down and cry.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Where did I get that song from my new album? There it is. Ernest Tubb. He's the man who started this whole thing. Back in the 1950s when people couldn't get CDs, he had an idea to bring people to one store. And not only could you buy the CDs and records here, but you could also see them perform live back here in the back of the shop. Would you believe? I came all the way from Ireland. I'm some cowboy, and I forgot my hat. Well, we're going to go in here to Boot Country, and we're going to buy another one. Now, come and go with us.
Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow, kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's good. Do I look like a Nashville cowboy now? Or am I more like an Irish cowpoke? I'm not quite sure. Now, as I say, we're on a Johnny Cash tour, but there's no point being a cowboy in Nashville unless you have the proper gear. So we had to stop in here to Boot Country, and we're going to kid ourselves out. Well, if you want fancy boots and fancy shirts, you won't find any better than here. There's a little pair there. I quite like those. That looks like a pair that Lefty Frizzell might have worn. Ah, for $500, they can be yours. Absolutely beautiful.
15 kids in the front porch light, Louisiana Saturday night. Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow, kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor. Dance in the kitchen till the morning light, Louisiana Saturday night.
Y'all come on back now, you hear? For many, many years, it's been one of my main ambitions in life to stand in the Grand Ole Opry. And as you can see behind me, that's exactly where we are today, here in Nashville, Tennessee. You could call this a religious home of country music, I suppose, because back in the 1800s, that's exactly what it was. It was a church. Later on, it became one of the places where some of the biggest stars in country music and rock and pop performed right here on this stage. Elvis Presley walked across the stage along with George Jones and Merle Haggard, and the people here came in by the thousands. Queues were started from here, and they went down the street for miles for people to come in to the historic Grand Ole Opry. Even though there's a modern facility up the road, I think still hear the history. They say the ghosts still walk the rooms here, of the people who organized, the ticket holders, the people who ushered people in and out of this room for years and years and years to listen to the country music that people couldn't get on the radios at home. This was only one place you could get it in the country, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm delighted to be here, and we hope that all of our folks with us from Ireland are enjoying their experience here on the Grand Ole Opry. As you look behind me, you can see some of them standing on that historic stage, taking their photographs. When they go home, they can say, I've stood where Elvis has stood. I've stood where George Jones and Merle Haggard performed. Vince Gill, Trisha Yearwood, just to name a few. The original birthplace of country music right here in the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee.
Fading or falling apart. If you're tired, rest your head on my arm. Rose in my heart.
I have two more folks here to my left. We're going to ask you, what's your name, where are you from?
Caroline O'Reilly, and I'm from Clooncha, Killishee, County Longford.
And yourself?
Brian O'Reilly from Killishee, County Longford.
Brian, can you tell me, is this your first time to America?
My first time, yes.
And before coming to Nashville, had you ever watched the Grand Ole Opry on TV back at home?
I've seen it, yes, but I never thought for any one time that I'd be here.
And Caroline, tell me what it was like standing on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry with that guitar in your hand, getting the photograph. How did you feel?
Absolutely at home. I'm going to come back and do it all over again.
Well, you know, it's amazing to think that throughout the many years of history in the Grand Ole Opry, all the different people who stood on that stage, like Elvis Presley, and now Carol and Brian, you've stood there as well. Brian, I know that we'll be heading home in about 5 or 6 days. And what's the one thing you're going to miss about being over here in the States?
Oh, everything about this tour, all the country music all the way. It was absolutely beautiful.
Hey God, I just lost a dear old friend. Hey God, I hope he's in your angel band. Hey God, you know he believed in you.
We're here at the Hendersonville Memorial Park, and I'm sitting beside a legend in her own right, but also the sister of one of the greatest country singers that ever lived, Joanne Cash. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, too.
Joanne, we brought 106 of our Irish friends over from Ireland on a special trip called I Walk the Line. I don't think anybody has to question the legend that Johnny Cash was, but I think a lot of people from Ireland, I think they prefer to hear about what he was like as a man, and not just a singer.
Johnny was a very gentle man. He was very tender and very funny at home. He was, of course, his happiest when he was entertaining the people. He really came alive on the stage. But when he was at home, Johnny Cash, the man, was happy with a pair of cut-off blue jeans and a fishing pole. He had a fishing pond right across from their house, and he called it their frog pond. And he had a special catfish that he named George. And he didn't let anybody catch George. He said, you can go fishing, but don't even get near George, because he'd go out there and talk to him.
Going back a few years, Joanne, is it possible to recollect how Johnny actually began to realize that he was going to be in the music business, or did it happen by accident?
No, my mother called it the gift. She always said God had his hand on Johnny. We sang in the cotton fields. That's where it began. Then he sang in church, and he won every singing contest around the area. And he knew from a very early age, at 12, that he was going to be a singer, and said so.
Well, I think so, just by knowing Johnny Cash from the way I do his music and stuff. When he came on the radio, As soon as the radio came on and as soon as the first note was struck from his voice, you knew it was Johnny Cash.
There's no hiding his voice. He had such an unique voice. He would try to disguise himself and run around Nashville. And sometimes he could hide with his disguise unless he spoke, because you can't hide that voice.
You could never hide that voice. Well, Joanne, listen, it's been such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
And I don't want to call you the woman in black, but maybe you don't mind.
I don't mind.
But you had a wonderful brother. And I know you have other brothers and sisters, and I'm sure the Cash family are very proud people. And it's an honor for me to talk to you and talk to you about your brother, the man in black.
Nashville nightlife. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee, just about to board the General Jackson to head down the Mississippi for a long day cruise of food and music, a bit of crack and a bit of dancing. We want you to come on board with us. It's going to be a wonderful time. We'll see you all on board. Here we go. Once again, you know we're aboard the General Jackson here, heading down the Mississippi. I have Maureen with me here. And Maureen, could you tell me exactly where you're from?
I'm from Spittal in County Galway.
Now, we know that that part of the country is very, very popular for its Irish-speaking language. So I want you to do me a favor. Once I hand you the mic over to you, I want you to say hello to all the folks in Ireland from Nashville in Gaelic.
Okay. Díri ver fad o Nashville, Tasúlagam gulch ver fad gama.
Well, I don't know what you said, but it sounded fantastic to me. Are you enjoying your trip here today on the General Jackson?
Oh, I'm having a fantastic time.
What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Helena Casey and I'm from Boyle in County Roscommon.
Well, Helena, I'm going to ask you one question. It's very, very important. Who is your favorite country singer?
Oh, Robert Mizzell.
Oh, I love it. And tell me, can you have your name and tell me where you're from?
Michael Cunningham from Boyle, County Roscommon.
Michael, is this your first time to Nashville?
First time.
Is this your first time to the States? Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure so far to have you. Of course, we're looking at the scenery down here going on the Mississippi on the General Jackson. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. And come here, would you suggest anybody else come to Nashville?
Oh, definitely. It's absolutely fantastic.
Hello there, we're back again on the General Jackson heading down the Mississippi. I have another friend with me here from Ireland. Could you please tell me your name and where you're from?
Anne Callan is my name. I come from Spittal, County Galway.
You come from Spittal in County Galway. Now, I know we were talking about a few folks from Connemara earlier on, and I know that you have a lovely, lovely language. I want you to do me a favor. Could you say to me in Irish, Robert Mizzell is the best country singer in all of the world?
She Robert Mizzell on Ferris Fair in the Casa Cowl.
And do you believe that?
Said him on Chachtonshire.
She said it in Irish so I could understand. Well, you know what? We've had a wonderful time. I'm so delighted to have so many great people from Ireland with me here in Nashville. And we have so many plans for the next couple of years. But you know what? I don't think nothing we could do could top what's happened here in Nashville these last 10 days. We're just about to disembark the General Jackson here along the Mississippi. With me, I have two friends that I've known for many, many, many years. And I want to say hello to Tom. Tom, hello.
How you doing, Robert?
You're very welcome to Nashville. You enjoying yourself?
I'm enjoying it very, very much, yeah.
Well, you know what? I first traveled with you, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago in Spain.
You were 6 years ago. We first met you. I heard your song on Kick-Ass Country. So I said the first thing I go is see that band. So I went to Kilross, we see you. And ever since then, we've been traveling to Spain, all over Ireland, Nashville and Spain, and back here in Nashville again.
And this is your beautiful wife, Anne.
Thank you, Robert.
Well, you know what? I've always said, country music has a way of bringing good folks together. Well, Anne, I want to ask you both one more question before we go. I know we're just about to get off the boat here. I want to ask you, in all of the world, including Asia and Japan, who's your favorite country singer?
I think Robert, yourself, I'd say, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got that out. I was a bit worried there for a minute. We have Maureen, we have Anne, and we have Mary, and they're going to sing you a little Irish song right here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Right. Chasna down to Dulchere, Slán leis an oignas is slán leis an green, Galim a crí agus gale an green, Galvig fill a heron, Cursa do hig a winter again, or agus harrogate Severus and tail, Irene Macree le brack and lay, hig fahavle do hig ma winter, Chasna down to Dulchere, Slán leis an oignas is slán leis an green, Galim a crí agus gale an green, Galvig fill a heron. Yoo!
Well, Mama told him that they'll be on there, and he will be the leader of a big old band. Many people coming from miles around. They hear playing music when the sun goes down. Medicine hand and green lights saying, Johnny be good tonight. Go, 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 go.
Mizzell is the king.
Well, folks, here we are. I can't believe it's over. 10 days of fun, crack here in America. When these people first came with us, they didn't know what to expect. Were they going to meet George Jones or Merle Haggard? Well, we didn't meet them, but we met Joanne Cash, we met Tommy Cash, we met George Hamilton, and we met so many nice people down here in the southern part of America. I don't want to go home, but you know, you have to go home sometime because they say your home is where you hang your hat. I hang my hat in Ireland along with all my friends behind me, some of the best people in the world, and I have been so delighted to be with them here in America. Don't forget, folks, we're going to be back again next year in Texas. We're going to do Dallas, Texas. We're going to do San Antonio, Fort Worth, Texas, rodeos, cowboys, J.R. Ewing, St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's all coming. But you know what? I don't care where we go in the world or how long we go on tour. We'll never find a crowd any better than the ones behind me. We'll see you back in Dublin. Get on the plane. And don't forget to bring your umbrella.